Ooh, The Expanse. What do they get right versus wrong? There's this one scene that I think they did better than I've ever seen anybody do in a space movie. And it's what would happen to a person that was ejected out of an airlock. Usually what you see is that as soon as they go out there, they freeze to death. I think that's probably the most common one. Another one that you see is that their bodies like explode or something because, the gas expands. The gas would definitely expand. So if you're like outside of a suit in space, you don't want to be holding air in your lungs. And if you're out there for too long, like your blood will start to boil. The pressure is so low outside. But you wouldn't freeze. Like you wouldn't get icy. Definitely not right away. I think that sci-fi has sort of conditioned us to think that space is freezing cold. Space is a vacuum.
Right. So it's
There's
like
nothing
the
there.
void of like
It's
the
void of
movement
cold
of atoms that is required for temperature.
Like when you're outside and it's cold outside, what's cold is the air. There's cold air that's touching you. There's no cold air in space. There's nothing. There's nothing there. You would freeze to death in space. If you could get around the fact that you couldn't breathe, if you could get around the fact that the pressure is off, you would freeze to death. But it's because your body is slowly radiating heat. It's not because you're like in a frozen tundra.
So what did Expanse do exactly? That was so right. I never saw it.
Captain Naomi, she jumps from one spaceship to another one. It was definitely dramatized, but in theory, for a very short amount of time, I think that you could probably survive something like that if you were not in space for that long and you immediately like got into a ship